Good morning, students. Today we will learn about the osmosis and osmotic pressure. So before we discuss about the osmosis, let us see what is diffusion. What happens in diffusion? In order to understand the phenomenon of diffusion, let us study one activity. Suppose if we take water in a beaker and then we put some crystals of KMnO4 in it, potassium permanganate, and leave it undisturbed for some times. After the gap of half an hour, you will notice that the whole water becomes pink in color and the particles of KMnO4 get uniformly distributed throughout the water, throughout the solution. This phenomenon of movement of solute particles from higher concentration to lower concentration is called as diffusion. So actually this phenomenon takes place until the homogeneous mixture is not formed. The rate of diffusion is faster in gases as compared to in liquid as compared to in solid. Now how the osmosis is different from the diffusion? Note that the diffusion is a spontaneous phenomenon in which the movement of solute particles take place from higher concentration to lower concentration till the homogeneous mixture is formed. Now let us take some different type of setup. Suppose this is a steel chamber with two opening and it is divided into two parts, two chambers, subchambers by this semi-permeable membrane. So what is semi-permeable membrane? It is the membrane which is having either natural origin or synthetically prepared, which contain pores, and these pores allow only solvent particles to pass through it. It does not allow any solute particles or such particle whose size is larger than the pores in it to pass through it. So such membrane is called as semi-permeable membrane. The animal membrane, which is just beneath the skin, act as semi-permeable membrane. Cellophane, paper, cellulose acetate, ferrosilicate, all these are synthetically made semi-permeable membrane. So now suppose in one chamber we have water or solvent and in another we have solution, and both are separated by this semi-permeable membrane, and here is frictionless movable piston which can comes up and down. Now once the water is separated from solution or solvent is separated from solution by this semi-permeable membrane, now what happens? You see this is shown by red arrow that the movement of solvent particle takes place in either direction, from solvent side to solution side and also from solution side to solvent side. But the main thing is here that the number of solvent particles moving from solvent side to solution side is more in number as compared to number of solvent particles coming from solution side to solvent side. This is because the concentration of solvent particle is greater here, or solvent particles are more in number per unit volume in solvent or in water. So more number of solvent particles are moving towards the solution side. So what net flow is observed is that only movement of solvent particles are taking place from solvent side to solution side. So this net flow of the solvent particles from solvent side to solution side through semi-permeable membrane is called as osmosis phenomenon. So this takes place only if the two solutions or if the two liquids are separated by semi-permeable membrane. Now, as a result of this net flow of solvent molecules from solvent side to solution side, the level of solution in this chamber increases, and this pushes the piston to move upward. Now, if you want to keep the level of solution constant, then you have to apply some pressure over the piston. This applied pressure over the piston, which keeps the level of solution constant, is called as osmotic pressure. So now first we will define what is osmosis. When solvent is separated from solution through semi-permeable membrane SPM, then net flow. This is net flow. Either the flow is taking place in either direction, but the net flow of solvent molecules take place from solvent side to solution side, or from solution of lower concentration to higher concentration side. This phenomenon is called osmosis. And the minimum amount of hydrostatic pressure developed on solution side to prevent the osmosis is called as osmotic pressure. So this minimum amount of hydrostatic pressure that is developed on solution side due to this osmosis phenomenon is called as osmotic pressure. So if you want to prevent this phenomenon, then you have to apply the pressure over the piston that must be equivalent to osmotic pressure. So osmotic pressure can also be defined as the minimum amount of pressure which must be applied on solution side to prevent the phenomenon of osmosis. So that is called as osmotic pressure, or it can be defined as the hydrostatic pressure which is developed in a solution side due to movement of solvent molecules from lower concentration to higher concentration. Now here is another phenomenon that is called as reverse osmosis. Let us see, this is again the setup to understand the osmosis. Here is chamber, steel chamber, which is separated into two subchambers by semi-permeable membrane. In one chamber we have fresh water, in another we have seawater. Now as we know, when the two fresh water is separated from seawater through semi-permeable membrane, again the osmosis takes place. Now as a result of this osmosis, more number of water molecules go from freshwater side to seawater side, from lower concentration to higher concentration, and then this raises the level of piston here in this side tube. Now if the pressure applied over the piston is greater than osmotic pressure pi, here pi is used to denote osmotic pressure. So if pressure applied on the piston on solution side is greater than osmotic pressure, then what happens? Now this reverses the movement of solvent particles from higher concentration to lower concentration, or from seawater to fresh water, and this movement of solvent molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration on application of pressure which is greater than osmotic pressure is called as reverse osmosis, because here the net flow is taking place in opposite direction, and this phenomenon of reverse osmosis uses the semi-permeable membrane which can bear sufficiently high pressure as cellulose acetate, which is supported in between steel mesh. And the application of this reverse osmosis is in desalination of seawater to get the fresh water, which is also used for drinking purposes. Now after addition of sufficient required minerals, now isotonic solutions are those solutions which have same osmotic pressure, as our blood is isotonic with 0.9% of NaCl solution. Hypertonic solutions, solutions with lower osmotic pressure or lower concentration, they are called hypotonic. Hypertonic solutions, solutions with higher osmotic pressure, they are called hypertonic solutions. Now osmotic pressure is a colligative property as it depends upon the number of moles of solute particle. Now this osmotic pressure is directly proportional to concentration as well as temperature. So pi equal to RCT, where R is proportionality constant. It is also called as gas constant, and its value is 0.0821. So pi can be written as pi equal to RCT. Now what C is the concentration. It can be written as number of moles of solute upon volume in liter, and then by using this osmotic pressure method we can determine the molar mass of unknown solute. So now as we know, the number of moles equal to mass of solute upon molar mass. So if you put this value, then molar mass of solute will be equal to Wb into R into T. T, that is temperature on Kelvin scale, and upon pi into V in liter. Note that when percentage of solution is given in solving the questions of osmotic pressure, so that percent represent the percentage mass by volume. So and the value of gas constant is taken as 0.0821 liter atmosphere mole per Kelvin, or 0.0831 liter bar per mole per Kelvin. So note that, because often children write the value 8.314 joule per Kelvin per mole, so that is the value of R that is used in case of energy questions. But here, since osmotic pressure is involved, so that's why this value is put here. Now here is a question. Calculate the osmotic pressure at 273 of a 5% solution of urea having molar mass, this one. Now 5% here means mass by volume, means mass of solute is 5 gram and volume of solution is 100 ml. So जब भी osmotic pressure का क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट करें वहाँ परसेंटेज दिया हो तो वहाँ परसेंट का मतलब होता है मास बाय वॉल्यूम. तो 5% मीन्स 5 ग्राम 100 ml सॉल्यूशन में. So now we have to keep here the solution in terms of liter. तो यहाँ पर जो दिया गया पहले वो वैल्यू रखेंगे, WB 5 ग्राम, और जो सॉल्यूशन है 100 ml है, फिर 100 ml को हम लीटर में बदल लेंगे, 1000 से डिवाइड कर देंगे. नाउ मोलर मास 60 है, आर की ये वैल्यू है. फार्मूला इसको फिर बॉक्स में रखेंगे और फिर वैल्यूज़ पुट कर देंगे. यहाँ पर ये ml में था, चूँकि यहाँ पर वॉल्यूम लीटर में रखना है, तो यहाँ पर जो वॉल्यूम है उसको 1000 से डिवाइड कर दिया और सॉल्व किया 18.68. सो ध्यान रहे कि ऑस्मोटिक प्रेशर मेथड को हमेशा प्रेफर किया जाता है to determine the molar mass of macromolecules like proteins or polymer और ऑर्गेनिक मैक्रोमोलिक्यूल्स. ऐसा इसलिए करते हैं क्योंकि अदर कोलिगेटिव प्रॉपर्टीज़ जब हम यूज करेंगे लाइक एलिवेशन इन बॉइलिंग पॉइंट तो और रिलेटिव लोअरिंग इन वेपर प्रेशर, तो मैक्रोमोलिक्यूल्स लाइक प्रोटीन ये डीनेचर हो जाते हैं. और अगर हम डिप्रेशन इन फ्रीजिंग पॉइंट यूज करते हैं तो वहाँ पर जो वैल्यू आती है वो बहुत छोटी आती है, जिसको हम एक्यूरेटली मेजर नहीं कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि हम जानते हैं कि जो कोलिगेटिव प्रॉपर्टी और मोलर मास का रिलेशन है ये रेसिप्रोकल का होता है. तो चूँकि मैक्रोमोलिक्यूल्स ऐसे मॉलिक्यूल्स होते हैं जिनकी साइज़ बड़ी होगी, मॉलिक्यूलर मास ज़्यादा होगा, तो वहाँ पर कोलिगेटिव प्रॉपर्टी की वैल्यू छोटी आ जाती है. नाउ सिंस ऑस्मोटिक प्रेशर मेथड इज़ मेजर्ड एट रूम टेम्परेचर, सो दैट्स वाई दिस मेथड इज़ प्रेफर्ड, क्योंकि यहाँ पर ज़्यादा हीट हमें करना नहीं होता है एंड द वैल्यू कम्स आउट सिग्निफिकेंट. सो दैट्स वाई दिस मेथड इज़ प्रेफर्ड टू मेजर द molecular mass of macromolecules. Thank you.